welcome back to the kitchen. Today I am going to show you how to make pie crust and then pumpkin pie. So I have a food processor. I'm going to start off by adding 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour into this and half a teaspoon of salt, and you can add a teaspoon of sugar if you want to. That's optional. I'm not going to. So that's 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, and now half a teaspoon of salt. And then you're just gonna give this a little mix-a-rooney to combine it. Cool. And then you're gonna take a cup of butter, but you're going to cube up the butter and place it in the freezer for a little bit because you want the butter to be super cold. Otherwise this won't work. You can't use just refrigerator butter. It has to be very, very cold butter. This goes with a few different pastry items, like I know croissants and whatnot as well, and like if you want to make streusel, you have to make sure the butter's super cold, otherwise it doesn't form properly. Anyways, there's just two sticks of butter that I cubed up and placed in the freezer for maybe half an hour, I don't know. Wait. I'm gonna add that all into here. And you don't need a food processor to make this. In the description of the video I can also put how to do it without a food processor. And you're just gonna pulse this to make sure that all of the butter is covered and almost a dough is forming. Oopsies. Rest of your flour, which is the other cup. Alright, now it's nice and crumbly texture. So I'm going to take this and add it to a medium, to this bowl. Alrighty, and now I had this little bowl of water in the freezer too, because you want icy cold water for this as well. And you're going to use 4 to 8 tablespoons of cold water, but you start off with 4. You can add more if you need to. That's 4. Now you're just gonna work that together with the little rubber spatula. Alright, mine needs more water. Tablespoons. Okay. like I'm gonna need the full 8 tablespoons. I'm making a little less, but that's okay. I'm gonna add even a little more water because it seems like it does not want to come together for me. Now that it's pretty good, you don't want it super falling apart, but a little crumbly is okay. And you're gonna put it onto a surface and you just want to work it enough to form it into a ball. And you can add a little flour if it's sticky on your counter or cutting board, whatever you want to use. And you're just gonna cut it in half and then form each one into a disc and wrap it in saran wrap. And I will do that real quick. Okay, this is disky enough. You just don't want to overwork dough because then it'll not be as good. Cool. Now we're going to wrap that in saran wrap. And you need to put these in the fridge for at least an hour and up to like 2 days, or you can freeze them for up to 3 months. 1 hour, and then I will be back. It's been in the fridge a little over an hour now, so I took it out and we're going to roll it out, put it in our pie dish. I'm using this. You can also just use the 9-inch pie dish. I apologize if you can hear my washer in the background, but you're going to start by flouring your area and grab a rolling pin or cup or whatever you want to use. Just get some flour down. You're also going to coat your rolling pin with flour. After you make this, you'll never want to buy store-bought crust again. And then you're just gonna roll it out, rotate it every once in a while. Sorry, let's pan outside. You want to roll it out to about 12 inches circularly. This will take a minute, that's okay. Oops. Just flipping it here and there to make sure it's deep in both sides. Once it gets too big to flip by hand, you can drape it over the rolling pin. It makes it easier to flip it over or to relocate it. Alright, that looks about good now. So I've got it over my rolling pin and I'm just gonna drop it straight into my pie dish. Like that. And you're gonna wanna let it work its way down into there. You know, just make sure it's all down in there real good. And then you can just go ahead and pinch off the crust. And if you want, you can save that dough to make cute little decorations, or just do the little pinching around the edges to get the pie crust look. I want the crust a little bigger, so I'm just gonna throw some of that back on here, and if it looks silly, that's okay. It's all food. I love a rustic looking pie, so I wouldn't mind getting some of those little utensils where you can cut out cute little shapes. It'd be fun. So next I have the oven preheated to 375 degrees, and you're going to, well, okay. You're gonna put it in your dish, you're gonna put it in the fridge for half an hour, preheat your oven to 375. You're going to, well, I'll be back after it's been half an hour, so. Okay, it's been in the fridge for half an hour. Now you're going to cover it with parchment paper, and if you have another pie dish that's the same shape, you can just set that in there, or if you have pie weights, you can use that, or dried beans, you can use sugar. You can use a lot of things if you don't have pie weights. I am going to use dried beans because that's what I have. Put a good little bit in there. Alright, at 375, this is going to go into the oven for 15 minutes. Okay, after the 15 minutes, you're going to take it out and take out the weights. You're going to poke it with a fork on the bottom. Give it a good bunch of little pokey pokes on the bottom. Okay, now you're going to put it back in the oven for about 7 to 8 more minutes until it's a little bit golden brown. Let's see, just a lot of little pokes in there. While that is cooking a little bit more, we're going to prepare the pumpkin pie filling. So to a kneading bowl, or to a mixing bowl, I'm just doing mine in the stand mixer. You can do this by hand, or stand mixers are great. You're going to add a 15-ounce can of pumpkin puree. If you get a big can and you have leftover pumpkin puree is a great additive to your dog's food. Alright, and then you're also going to add a 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. Yummy! Okay. You're also going to add 2 large eggs. My free-range eggs aren't quite large yet, so I'm going to add 3. You're also going to add a teaspoon of cinnamon powder, half a teaspoon of ground ginger. I'm going to add a splash of vanilla to this as well. Half a teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to grab the pie crust out of the oven really quick. And while you grab the pie crust out, turn the heat up in the oven to 425. Now you add half a teaspoon of nutmeg. And if you have cloves, you can add some. I couldn't find mine, unfortunately, but it'll still be super yummy without it. It's optional. Anyways, so. And you're just gonna stir this until it's uniform. And this is a very soupy pie mixture, so don't worry. Alrighty, now you're just going to add this straight to the crust. I didn't even think about this. This filling's a little not quite enough for this dish. I didn't think about that. This is for a 9-inch pie. This will be good. It's just gonna be a little crusty on mine, but use a 9-inch dish. This will be perfect. So this is just what it looks like, if you can see. I don't want to tilt it, it's super liquidy. But you're gonna throw this in the oven for 15 minutes. Reduce the heat to 350, and then 35 to 40 minutes, or until it comes out clean. if you get a store-bought pie crust, you can skip all that part and just go straight to the mix and don't have to worry about pre-baking crust, but it won't taste as good. That's a fact. See you guys when my pie is done. Alright, so I baked mine for 35 minutes. The crust started getting a little dark, so after like 20 minutes I put tinfoil over it, and that helps it to not get more brown, but I probably should have done it a little sooner, so I'd recommend keeping an eye on that and putting tinfoil over it if it's getting a little too dark. But it smells delicious. I'm so excited to eat this. However, you do need to let it cool completely before you serve it. I'm not gonna wait and try it because I'm tired. But I know it's gonna be delicious, and I really think that everyone should make this recipe or something similar. Use this crust at least. Slice it, top it with a bunch of whipped cream, and it would be delicious. Perfect for Thanksgiving or Halloween. I know we're past Halloween. And speaking of that, I know I just wanted to use all my signs. Anyways, I think that's all for this episode. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later.